Hello everybody, we finally made some progress on the Hella Honey tables. So before we start, we want to go ahead and pick out which one of these colors we like the best. Here's number 1, and it has the lighter pigment in it. Number 2 has a mix of the light and the dark pigment. And number 3 here has just the dark pigment in it. Nope. So it's between 1 and 2, and I think I like 2 better. So now let's mix up a slightly larger batch of this. And as always, Wisebond tabletop epoxy, and yeah, it's really thick. So it takes a little while to get it mixed in here. So finally we get it, but you can see there's a bunch of bubbles in there, but we'll get those out. So I figured out the recipe for making the honey colored epoxy last week, so we're gonna go ahead and use this yellow stone coat dye and a little bit of the orange stone coat dye, and a little bit of the black trans tint. As you can see, I use a syringe to put in the trans tint, and that's so I can count it out drop for drop. The black from trans tint goes a long, long way. On top of these, I'm gonna add some pigments, a dark bronze and a light bronze. And we all know that honey doesn't have bronze glitter in it, but what this is gonna do is help make a separation between this pour and the clear pour that goes on top of it. And when we mix it all up, we get kind of a glowing looking honey, and we pour it in, and that pigment will settle out and it'll look a little bit different. You can see that at the end. As you may or may not be able to tell, my fine motor skills are not awesome. I like shake all over the place and have to go back to cells and pour more honey in, and there's a couple of cells I'm pretty sure I poured too much in. But this really doesn't matter all that much to get perfect. All that it matters is that we get the bottom of each one of these cells filled with honey. And I had to do this 5 times, and the first little bucket I made only lasted for about 2.5. So one more bucket, and we were able to get all 5 tables with honey on the bottom. As you will notice, this last table here is walnut, and that is because it is my wife's. Now, am I giving my wife the better table? No. She was adamant that she wanted one out of walnut, but then when she saw the spalted maple ones, she said, "Oh, I like that better." Who could have possibly ever known? Me, I knew.